Hey Legionnaires, welcome back. So, just how powerful is David? Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's like, how can
I can sing the whole song.
you? Right?
One of the best openings ever.
Oh yeah. You can't not help sing along with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is my entire X-Men education, by the way. So this
all
is it.
good.
Okay, all right.
I was a DC boy growing up, and I did have this cartoon.
Okay.
That was my big
Yeah, I love this
Marvel
cartoon.
education.
Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome back. You are watching the after show for Legion, Episode 3, Chapter 3.
Ooh.
Yes. So, shall we begin?
Or shall we tell them who we are?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I
we
said.
might
No,
wanna-
at the beginning of the episode,
okay.
it was,
Okay.
shall we begin? I'm Rick Hong, and you can find me at Rick Hong, RICKHONG, and I'm joined by my fellow mutants.
Hi, I'm Dave Child. I'm guesting. I'm here. I'm guesting, and I'm at MR Dave Child. I do want to say, before we begin, I don't want to talk any comic spoilers. I don't know the character from the comic. I'm a big geek, but I'm only a DC geek. And I'm a big Noah Hawley fan. I was on the Fargo AfterBuzz. I'm loving the show, but I don't want to hear who he's related to. I've sensed he's related to someone. I don't even want to know that. So don't tell me about that. I just want to talk about the show. So that's all I'm saying. I'm Dave Child. Hi.
It's all right. It's your disclaimer. It's
Yeah, that's
totally
my
fine.
disclaimer. I just
all right.
want to let people know.
Okay.
It's okay. And hey guys, I'm back again. I'm happy to be here. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE.
Real quick, I like what you did there with the whole mutant thing.
Yeah,
Shall
we
we
felt my fellow
begin?
mutants.
I didn't mean to crash your party.
Yeah,
That was actually
see,
kind of smooth. I was
Oh,
just
I get
nervous.
it.
I'm like, they need to know what our names are. And with that being said, I'm your boy Chaos Jones, Chaos J on Twitter, KAOSJ, and I'm also on Instagram, Chaos_Oceans31. Oceans, why? Because your boy's so wavy. Let's go.
Wait, you didn't say 31 flavors, did you?
Nah, I had to switch it up today.
I'll
I
tell
mean,
you
I'm
what.
still bringing 31 flavors of waviness, but, I'm also very wavy, hence the oceans.
Yeah, but you know what?
11,
I was
12,
actually
13.
thinking about it. I was thinking that your number 2 flavor might not be the popularist.
Yeah.
It might
Most
not.
popular.
So many people have fancy introductions like that at AfterBuzz. I'm just
But
like,
I kind of liked your introduction. It was very, just,
Yeah.
it was just direct.
I
but
feel
it was
like I should
funny,
come up with I'm Dave Child, not a man, just a child.
Yeah, that's a good
Dave
one.
Sure.
I like that
Child.
one. I like that
I
one.
mean, you could do that too. I mean,
That's pretty good.
That works.
All right, okay. So let's kick it off, and we kind of start like if in a weird kind of dream sequence. David's kind of on a dock.
Isn't
and
that the entire show?
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
every
Just
episode.
saying
Not
we start
even.
We start off at a weird dream sequence. That's,
Well, do you know it's a dream? That's the other thing. You're
I
like,
know.
well, this meditation state possibly could really be there because he's jumped around.
So we see Melanie's like making some coffee, and we hear this crazy woodcutter story with this like crazy like what's an Australian accent?
I didn't notice. I didn't notice.
I think
but
it's
British?
I don't think it was. I want to say it was.
what they did a good job of like. I
maybe
was
it's
paying,
East Coast. Like
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of a something.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
Jersey,
let's say
a little
that.
bit of Jersey,
No, not
South
Jersey,
Jersey,
but
or
it's not quite British because like they have.
It's a transatlantic,
Yes.
like
Thank you,
Catherine
yeah.
Hepburn. Yeah, it's that.
Well,
sort of thing.
if it's the quote unquote 60s and his like speech pattern was developed in like the 40s,
Right.
50s,
If it is the 60s.
if.
Right, yeah, I know. I was
It's
trying
sort
to think in the time
of-ish.
period. I mean, yeah, do we know what do we really know exactly? Do we know the style? Do we know?
One thing I love about the show is that everything feels like a dream. Every reality is mixed up. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like it is in one time period because you do have people dressed up like the 60s, looking like they're out of Mad Men, but then you also have the bad guys on iPads. And they got AK-47s, which don't really look like they're from the 60s. And they're wearing riot gear that looks like it's from, now. So it kind of feels like it's now, but it could also be the 60s. And I think it's because we're seeing it all from David's point of view, and everything is kind of warped and part of memories and part of dreams and also created by his own mind. So everything is kind of blended together. That's what I like about the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, I mean, we kind of have like a flash intro where, like, we see his sister Amy kind of getting tortured, somewhat tortured, interviewed by, the eye, so-called, the milky one.
And the other dude.
His name is, they don't say it in the episode.
Mike Pence. It's Mike Pence.
Mike Pence.
The dude looks like Mike Pence.
Yes. No, so in the episode is they don't really say his name, but his name is Brubaker.
I love how we all stopped this kind of look like, wait, is it really?
That sounds familiar. It looks like he's being interviewed by Mike Pence and Tom Waits. That's what it looks like.
Wow.
The two people.
But
Tom Waits for sure. I see that.
Since you guys weren't part of the discussion last week, are they leeches or what? Because we had that discussion because I thought leeches were like a little smaller and those look bigger.
No, leeches can be that big.
Oh, okay.
And I was gonna say they are leeches because she even says that.
Right.
Where she's like, doesn't she say something about not being tough, and she wasn't that tough, and they didn't need to use the leeches.
Okay, because we weren't clear.
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember hearing that line.
Yeah, when she's telling them like I don't know anything, and as she's telling them that like I don't know anything, and then you see like the milky eye dude sees
the eye,
Dave. He sees Dave and Sid.
Yeah.
And he goes to reach out to him, and that's right at that point when she's saying, "Look, like I'm not really tough. Like if I get a paper cut, now I've got to lay down."
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were wondering what they were in this
and
episode.
then she
They
says something
definitely
about
look
you
more
don't
like
need the leeches, basically.
One of the things I usually do when
Eric Scott in the chat said I saw a video interview where they said there were leeches. Thank you.
Leeches.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing that was interesting is when we went to see flashes of the actual interview and her being kind of grilled, occasionally we saw it like it was projected on a steampunk screen. Like it had almost like it was leather.
Kind of like what I guess I don't know if our audience can see what's kind of going on there, but
It had kind of a
little static issues.
Yeah, staticky, but it was also projected. So it's like, who is watching this? Is it flashing in David's mind, or is someone else watching this happen somewhere else?
and maybe he's watching it through their eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I
That's a
was
good
thinking.
question.
Okay.
It figures when it cuts to the camera, the thing it stops flashing. It's not even flashing anymore.
Ah.
Oh, interesting. All right.
It knows. It's aware.
So now the whole idea of the episode, or like this part of the thing, is that they're trying to lay down some memory work so that they can get to David's sister Amy, so that because she's in peril or she's in
they're
dire
also
straits.
trying to right now. They're trying to get him under control. They're trying to get it so he can control his powers. They just don't know what they have on their hands because he keeps exhibiting different. It doesn't seem like he's a simple telepath. It doesn't seem like he's just has telekinesis. Because when you just have telekinesis, that just means you can carry
levitate
things
and move things
around. Yeah, you can maybe break down a prom if you get pig's blood on you. But he's actually able to disappear doors. He's transporting people.
Yeah.
What's like,
astral projection.
It's when
Or
the
teleportation.
memory.
Take your pick.
What's the memory guy's name?
Both
Blanking on his name.
actually.
Yeah.
You saw both in this.
Autonomy?
Yeah.
Patanomy, he's like, what are you?
Yeah.
So he has that.
Oh, not only that, but I felt like Patanomy was getting a little irritated.
Oh yeah.
He was getting
he was irritated last
resisting
episode.
me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's because his powers are getting cock-blocked, and he's like, wait, why are my powers getting cock-blocked? This has
is
never
my
happened.
deal.
Yeah, this hasn't happened before. What's going on?
This is what I do. I'm the memory guy. And you keep getting in the way.
Yep.
But you also brought up that there's astral projection and there's teleportation. And we saw that he could do both.
Right.
Yep.
Because
Legion's a bad mother.
And
What?
switch
Shut your
between the
mouth.
two.
I'm
Because
just talking
with
about
Sid,
Legion.
it's the projection, and then it's the teleportation as well.
Yeah, because they teleported them from the memory room, and I know I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but from the memory room into that one little like yellow room.
Yep.
But then him and David and Sid also have an astral projection to where Amy is being tortured, and so they're able to see but not talk, and the only one that could see him is the eye because we get a sense that
Yeah,
the
they're having that like, as they say, like an out of body experience.
Yeah.
Right. And it seems like the eye is a mutant himself, and that he has some abilities, so he's able to kind of see something like that, like the astral projection.
Well, so I was trying to figure out. So speaking of the eye for a second, is I wanted to say she said Walter, and like she was like she was giving so like I wasn't sure if she was referring to Walter as either as Brubaker or if she was like referring to Walter as the eye.
I think the eye.
Okay, so his
'cause
name is
he felt
Walter.
he had powers,
Okay.
and that's where like he was there and things went bad. I don't think he actually saw them. I felt he sensed it because it was more like there's something over there. Because
Right.
he did this, like, not necessarily
Kind of a, like,
focused on. Yeah.
It's like in Predator where you see like he's like invisible, but you see him like moving through. It's just like something's there, it's moving.
You brought up something that I think I missed. One thing about this show is I kind of let it wash over me, so I feel like there's little moments. I feel like you got to watch this show like 5 times.
Yeah.
But so when they bring up do you know the eye
Right.
to talking to Melanie, what does she say? Because it seems like she just says, "Let me tell you a story about my husband and how I built this
So
ranch."
she said that she reveals that the voice is her husband. That they hear out throughout the house.
Yeah.
So the coffee maker was
Coffee maker is
her
her
husband,
husband.
and her husband and Carrie's like the guy that's like putting the probes and stuff. Carrie Loudermilk is the guy that's putting the probes and stuff
Right.
on. Okay, so they kind of
Bill
started
Irwin,
this. Yeah, they started this thing, this like school, and Walter was a part of that school, but he got corrupted.
And Walter's the eye.
And Walter's
Yes.
the eye.
Okay.
Because he wanted to just destroy things.
Oh
and
yeah,
do
she
bad
said he wants to
things.
hurt people.
He wants to hurt people.
I mean, come on, his hobby is like whittling away at wood, which is fine, but it's playing with a sharp object that I'm waiting for him to stab somebody.
I think that's what happened with his eye. He was playing with sharp objects, and then
fell.
Good way to
that's
get
how
the
he got his
name.
name. He's like, "Oh!" He was running with scissors, and he fell. And then they said, "We're gonna call you the eye now."
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we see some layers peeled from David.
Yep.
We find out that his ex-girlfriend or wife was named
Girlfriend.
Philly. Yeah, Philly. And we find out that he is a junkie. He used to be.
Confirm.
Yeah, we kind
Because
of knew.
Willie admits it this episode
Yeah.
to other people.
Because first in the beginning part of the episode, Melanie says you're a junkie, but as we see through this episode, Sid and David start bonding a lot more. They talk about, well, who are your parents? How did you grow up? Who were your parents? How did you grow up? And then my favorite, of course, their conversation about him saying, so when I was you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it when there's. This is gonna sound so creepy, but I love it when there's at least an acknowledgement of in body switching episodes of when they switch genders, that there's got to be a sense of just like they're both messing with their bits, right?
Yeah, there's always there's
Yeah,
always a
curiosity.
there's got to be
He's
curiosity.
like, I just kept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come
I didn't
on. I mean,
look.
like, you're gonna sit there and be. I'm gonna be like,
Right?
And then
That
she's
happened.
like, yeah, and then and I'm like, whoa. She's like, okay, wait, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure, like you said, you're a little curious.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
just
there's-
it's natural.
I mean,
it's not even
like, Carrie, would
not
you-
even in a matter of
Oh, yeah.
perversion, but just out of just sheer curiosity. It's like I've never had these before.
that's the first thing that he does is like, oh.
My whole thing is if I was so clearly I'm a dude, but if I was a girl,
Clearly.
I would say that the girl's first thing that she would not get right is going to take a piss as a guy.
Would get it wrong?
Yeah, because you're trying to
No.
like
That's
no.
I mean,
And
what's
come
your...
aim in the toilet. Come on, dude.
Yes, that's super hard. I mean, it's,
Hey, I mean, I think for girls never
Girls
know.
can pee standing too.
they could aim and
this
shoot.
is
They don't
true.
even need to use their hands, and they can pee
This
standing. Guys
is
have to use
true.
their
It's
hands.
just about
Just
Kegel
saying.
control and aim. And I was gonna say this because there's no
Tell-
other way
wait,
to
tell-
say
tell
it,
us what you think in the
but
comments. That's what I wanna know.
I'm
Tell us
pretty
what you
sure
think.
women wouldn't have a hard time handling that because I'm sure they've handled similar or like items before. So they just say, okay, well, I know where the pee's gonna come out, and I'm just gonna aim and shoot.
Eric
But
Scott in the
that's-
chat said, "I know I would," as in referring to touching. I don't know where it was and who did it, but there was some like VR study where guys and girls could like see the other person's body, and absolutely,
Right.
they did like check each other's
Yeah.
Junk.
genitals and stuff, and
Sheer
all body parts.
curiosity.
And
Yeah.
both the men and the women, they were like, "Okay, I can see what it is," and so
Wow.
like you were partnered up with someone
Right.
essentially,
Sure.
and like you got to And I'm like, oh
This
yeah.
happened on an this is deep geek, but this happened on an episode of Farscape too, when they did a body switching episode.
Come on,
where
it's like how could
also
you
looked-
not?
Yeah,
right?
it's great. I just like when they acknowledge that human, like.
Right.
I wish
feeling.
she had though, because she's like, yeah, I totally, and he's like,
Well,
he
for
felt so
her-
violated for a moment,
Wait, what'd you do to me?
and she's like, I'm kidding.
I feel bad for her
But was she?
because she's also dealing with she has a really bad power. That's like a terrible power.
It's a
to have.
horrible power.
Yeah.
Because it also means that she literally doesn't own her body, and she says that
Yeah.
she doesn't own her body, and that so many people have literally gone inside of her body.
Yeah,
and
she
have
talks
done-
about being a Chinese man,
Yeah.
a 300-pound man, like a 5-year-old girl, or maybe a
Yeah.
300-pound woman or something.
I
but
think it was.
but the cool revealing aspect of it is how she says, "But I know that they're souls."
Yep.
Or like
Yeah.
a piece, people have souls as opposed to just this body that we're born with.
I also think that this episode revealed, and this isn't confirmed yet, but I feel like the body switching makes it so her and David have a psychic connection of some
Yes.
sort, because when the stuff goes down in the memory, stuff that only David can usually see, all of a sudden she can see it too. Is that because of the body switching, or is it because David trusts her so much that his subconscious is letting her see all this stuff?
I mean, it could
I
be
would venture to say it's a combination of both. What were you gonna say?
yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I wondered is, okay, so if she touches him, they'll swap. So why don't they have sex then?
Oh yeah.
They'll
But
just be in the other person's body. It's fine.
Oh man, that would be like I wonder if that'd be just like a massive, just like good orgasm to know like
it'll be
hey,
very Sense8. It'll be
right?
very
Just
like
swap
Yeah.
back and forth.
swapping.
It's fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think she's kind of
Just too many
damaged.
issues. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little damaged from body switching with people in the past, and she also doesn't like touching. She said in a previous episode that touching, even besides her power,
Oh yeah, she said the tingling.
it
Didn't
feels
feel
like
good.
it is needles. So
Yeah.
even when she's trying to wake people up in this episode, she's still hitting the couch.
You know what? Dude,
Yeah.
I totally
She didn't even hit him with the
missed
pillow.
fact.
No.
Yeah, I saw her doing that, and I was like, dude, I'd be like slapping Melanie in the face, but I forgot that
doesn't-
she can't
Yeah.
do that. Right.
She can't even have like pushing daisies.
She didn't
touching
even
with
touch hold the pillow and hit him with the pillow. She used the pillow on the couch itself.
Yeah, she did.
her. Right.
So it's not even through an object she'll touch someone.
It's
Oh,
unconscious.
it's so psychological for
Yeah,
her
she's
too.
messed up. She's messed up.
Apparently, chat room.
Still hot, though.
They do agree it'd be very easy. Just point and shoot. Come on.
Okay.
And quite a
Point
few
and
men
shoot.
say they wouldn't mind the body swapping as long as it's just kind of temporary.
Yeah, because we don't want that thing
So.
every 3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
All right, so in
Of
one.
all the things, come
Yeah,
on.
I know.
I don't think we would like to have the oppression that women face every day. That's right, I'm an ally.
The oppression, dude. Come on, can you
Yeah.
imagine? You can get into a club anytime
Oh.
you want. I mean,
Okay,
we've
let's
got
not
some
get
time.
into
Okay, wait.
that. Let's move
Someone
away
back
from
to
this.
switching. Brussels said, I think when they first switched, they got blasted apart, so it's not possible if that's how it works. That's a good point. Of like they didn't
It's
touch,
like, oh,
and
it's
they
like-
got
it's like a-
like.
Sex would literally be like
It's like it's like taking
It would
two.
be
Great.
explosive.
explosive sex.
Yeah, it's like taking
Sounds
two
great.
magnets and trying to like it
Yeah,
just constantly
maybe.
does that. Okay.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's a question if they'll get that far of like if they do try to touch later of like, okay, well, fine, we swapped. But then if she's in his body, she won't feel the pinpricks.
Well, it's also, you could also think maybe it's a combination of his power too, because when
That's
they touched,
true.
he freaked
Yeah.
out, and his power is to kind of explode
Yeah.
a little bit. So,
So there was a point where Carrie is poking and prodding at David. He's sitting in that chair, and it goes to like a Halloween sequence.
right.
Yes.
And did you guys notice that? So this is what I told Chaos here is when we were watching it together, that the thing on this can't be a spoiler to you, but
No.
the thing on
Oh yeah.
it looked like Cerebro. To me, like the little helmet thing was like a maybe was that Cerebro? Like it's kind of like a weird
Wait, when he's...
when he's chasing after his dog. When he's chasing
Yeah.
after his dog in that Halloween sequence, but like his costume
Oh,
itself, the
it's
little
a
colander.
colander.
No, it's a colander, but in my mind, I'm like, did they kind of maybe it's a little
Throw that
It was a
throwback to-
spaceship thing. He was like
kind of
a
looks like
outer
a-
astronaut kid.
So it's not Cerebro?
No.
No?
I think that's a stretch. I think it was meant to
Too
be...
much of it. Okay.
I mean, it might have been a nod towards it, but I kind of felt almost like him in the Scanner was a bit more cerebro, but like I think that was just him being kind of a cheap alien man. I do want to talk about, this is the first time I've noticed the yellow-eyed demon that keeps popping up.
Devil with the yellow eyes.
The devil with the yellow eyes. He's obviously an extension of David. I think we can kind of maybe get a sense of that.
Well, I don't know if you can say obviously yet.
Maybe not obviously, but I
You think he is.
I think
Okay.
he's an extension, and also now I'm pretty sure he's the grown-up manifestation of the angriest little boy. Whatever that means. I don't quite know what that means, because
Okay, so
no,
you're
'cause this
connecting.
guy is like really
That's
fat and
tough.
sloppy,
Yeah.
and
No, it's a
the
grown-up.
angriest
Stuff can
boy
happen.
is like really sharply dressed.
yeah, but he was sharply dressed in this episode, because when they see him in the kitchen, he's actually wearing a tie for the first time. He's wearing a tie and a
The
suit.
devil with the yellow eyes.
The devil with the yellow eyes.
Okay.
And I thought
I
that was
did not
weird.
catch that.
Yeah, because normally when we see him, he's dressed up
Like
as a patient,
slob, yeah.
or he's dressed up kind of sloppy. This time he was wearing the same outfit as the angriest little boy.
So-
and also when the angriest little boy chases after them into the duct,
He
the
was there
angriest-
too.
He
Yeah.
literally turns into the devil with the yellow eyes.
Did not catch that.
We had
Yeah.
a little bit more, and what do you think? Because we had a little bit more of it too, of him, the father, reading to him,
Right.
but you don't see his face. Do you have a theory of why we don't see the face?
I think that there is like a mystery about who the father is, and maybe what connection he has, and maybe that's where all of his powers are coming from. But I'm not too sure. In this episode, it almost feels like we see the dad
It
for a
looks
second.
like the part when she's walking up the stairs and looks in
Right.
the room. Oh, that
I
was.
also-
I wondered that too.
I also wouldn't be surprised if who he thinks his parents aren't actually his parents. So maybe that shadow of the father is not literally who his father was, who also had his sister, but those are his adoptive parents, but he knows his father's not quite his father.
It looked more like him this episode with the silhouette, like he's representing his own face. Okay, I'm totally blanking on names. What is the woman who leads the
Melanie.
Melanie?
Uh-huh.
When Melanie's walking through the house and she looks in that side room, are those his parents or are those his sister and her husband?
Those are, I think, her parents.
Supposed to be
Yeah.
his parents.
And
Okay.
also, she does a double take, like maybe
She
she
does.
recognizes them.
Well, I thought she double take because they looked at her, which
That
was
too.
weird.
Oh, like they
'Cause
recognized that she was there.
Yeah,
No?
the fact that they
Okay.
could see her and interact with her was weird because
That
it's
is
like she
true.
looks in and then they go like creepy turn and then she's like, they're looking at me, and then like starts going away.
Right.
It's Dave, but it's like you said. That's a beauty of the show is you can watch it once, but it probably won't do any justice because there's probably small little subtle things to go back. I mean, the direction and like
Oh,
just
yeah.
the directing this is it's just beautiful.
And also, like, Noah Hawley, this is his jam. This is what Fargo was, just references upon references of different, like, he was referencing philosophy as well as Coen Brothers movies that wasn't just Fargo.
That's what I'm talking about with the colander, man. That's cerebral.
I mean, it might be, but I feel like he would, that's too obvious for him. I think he would go deeper somewhere.
Chat room has some theories on the devil with
yellow
the eyes.
Okay.
Darius says the devil with the yellow eyes, in my opinion, is not an extension of David, but an outside force. If you notice in episode 1, the cage with the dog owned by Division 3 had red eerie lights, and whenever the devil shows up
yeah.
or his powers go haywire, there are red eerie lights. I feel it's an entity that follows David. And Vatsal says, yeah, I feel the devil is definitely an outside force.
well, it's definitely the cock block to Ptolemy's powers. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, I keep wondering why, and I don't want to hear any comic spoilers, but I keep wondering why it's called Legion. Because Legion is what David is, and that means he might be several people. So this could be like an aspect of him and could also be an outside force because he could just be an embodiment of several different people. I don't know.
So then,
I
okay,
feel
so
the
then
devil with the yellow eyes is outside of him.
I
definitely agree
I
with
agree.
that
Like an entity, like a bad force,
Yeah.
trying to invade its way into and controlling him.
Like, it might be in his mind, but I don't think he created it. I feel it maybe came from outside and is latched onto him like a parasite.
True, or is trying to suck his power out.
Yeah.
And is trying to use him. And I mean, that devil does look like a 90s comic book character from Marvel, if anything else does. I mean, he feels like it's something there.
So speaking of like real and not real, we kind of had this conversation right before the show started, but let's talk about Lenny.
Yes.
Let's talk about Lenny in terms of, Chaos, you had something to say about it. Dave had something to say about it. I'm sure Kari and I will chime in on our own versions of, the reality of, she real, she not real, she another one of his personalities.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just jump in right now and say that I feel like the fight with her and Philly confirmed any doubts that on whether or not she was real or not.
At that time period.
In that time period. Now, I agree that she is dead currently. But the fact, we still have a few characters who are like, are they real? Are they not real? Hands down, she was real. That was his little junkie buddy. I was a little irritated with her, the way she, attacked Philly and just destroyed that cake. I am a lover of cake. She's very disrespectful to the cake.
That was destroying it.
No, she was hungry for it, wasn't she? Yeah, she was like,
yeah, but it was just like,
You never
like that
wanted to
cake
eat a
was
cake
not
like
for
that?
you, bro. Like, you don't steal cake. Like, you don't steal reservations, because that's just wrong, and you don't steal cake. So I didn't appreciate that, but yeah, I definitely feel like that fight scene, that interaction that they had, for me, confirmed it, that she was real. However, present day, I believe that she's no longer here. She's just in his mind.
I agree with that, but my big question is, and what I find a little suspicious, is that she was a junkie buddy out on the streets, and then when he went to the hospital, she also came to the same hospital?
It is a weird coincidence.
Like, I would also...
Well, they could have agreed to go together to get clean.
But that's not how it... Like, because I'm getting a sense that they were arrested, and then he was brought to the hospital because they thought he was insane. Because it seems like he's schizophrenic. She doesn't seem like she's insane at all. She just seems like a junkie.
Yeah.
So it's weird that she would also go to the hospital, which makes me wonder if we'll find this out because I think we're leading to how he got into the hospital eventually. I think we'll probably see that next episode.
But she did die at the hospital. Sid goes, your friend died.
Yeah, but that's not... could he have created her, like, physical body, and then that physical body died?
Oh.
There's
nothing impossible with him right now, yeah.
Yeah, what's the limits of his powers?
Exactly. Do you guys notice? Go ahead.
For your theory of you for sure, that's true with Philly. Sabrosol says, I don't know. We never saw both of them interact with Philly at once, so I still think it was David watching himself fight from the outside.
Could. The Philly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought about
That's
that
an
too.
interesting
I thought about
theory,
that too.
yeah.
During when I was watching the episode.
I feel she was real. I think she was a druggy buddy. It is a weird coincidence that they go to the same mental hospital.
I would almost say...
But maybe they could have had some, like, okay, we both are going, whatever.
Or I agree with you, they get arrested
assume-
together.
Yeah, or something.
And we also assume that there
if
were
it's
multiple.
one small town, maybe there's only one hospital for them to go
exactly.
to.
Because if you guys think about it, if you've ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the Jack Nicholson character in that show or the movie thinks that he's like it's like in 28 days they'll let me out of here, and they're like, no man, like this isn't like being arrested, like you're here for a while. And that's when he starts doing all the crazy stuff. So maybe the same thing for them, they got arrested, like some version like that, they got arrested together where it's like instead of throwing them in jail, let's throw them in an institution.
But the thing I'm more curious about now is her representation in his mind, which I'm like, okay, it's fine in his mind. Is she just a manifestation of his thoughts? Could she be like a echo of who she was before? So she's essentially independent of his mind. So, or something else.
Or could her soul be kind of part of of him?
Like, did
now?
he absorb some of her? Or something
Maybe
like
that's
that?
how he's becoming Legion. He's becoming many, is because he could be absorbing souls, and one of them could be like the devil, the devil with the yellow eyes, and another one could be Lenny. Mm-hmm. Could be absorbing everyone. I want to talk before we go too far also about Kari a bit, because we do see for sure that Kari is two different people.
Oh yeah,
and it comes out of his body this time, because before we're like, how are they?
Right. And I also like how his fighting body, his fighting version, is this cool hot chick, and his brain is a Bill Irwin, who's like,
Nerdy scientist.
Yeah, I also.
That's exactly
Well,
how it is
so-
when people play video games.
Well, no,
Yeah.
so it brings me to a
Do
point,
real-
though. So Dave also covers Legends of Tomorrow. So when I was watching it, I was kind of thinking Firestorm.
Right,
Just a little bit.
Firestorm.
Just a little bit of Firestorm.
It's a little bit of that, except when they combine, they mostly look like a cool. It looks like
One-
Jax.
yeah,
It looks
one,
like the younger guy. But in this sense, I'm also wondering if she's always looked that way. She's always looked young, and he's been aging. So how
maybe.
his how that's how actually Kari looks, because he was there from the start when they
Yeah,
founded
they
that
made
house.
that sound.
Yeah.
Or they made that, he felt like he had been there that whole time.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to see how she appears this time, because before she was just there, and then we're like, wait, is she in his head? And be like, no, she comes out of his body, and it's interesting, yeah, that they look so different.
Yeah, I'm also happy to see that actor, because he's like an awesome physical comedian and like an expert clown, and he was in the "Don't Worry, Be Happy" video with Robin Williams.
Wait,
That's like
Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry
Yeah,
About It.
if you watch
Wow, old
Someone
school.
just went way back.
yeah. Well, I like Bill
Don't
Irwin,
worry.
and that's
Yep.
he's a
Be
great
happy.
clown. So I hope we get to see
Don't
some of that
worry,
physical
be
comedy
happy
kind of come out of him at some point.
His has been pretty dry so far. Like, he's
Yeah.
playing the straight guy, essentially.
Yeah, but he is being the quirky scientist.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, he's
See a little
kind
bit
of being Beast a little bit in terms of
a
just,
little-
And then
Without
they
the
both
beast.
spell it, yeah. Carrie the male is Carry, and Carrie the female is Kary.
Cool.
It's almost like mine.
I like how, except for David, all of the mutants are pretty much the C-D level powers. It's kind of these powers
Yeah,
that are
nobody's
kinda,
amazing.
Yeah, like Carrie's
Wait,
powers
where's
two
the
people.
dude who
I know
was in, like,
we've missed
fighting?
Yeah, Chaos's favorite guy, the
Oh,
guy that
right.
has
Yeah,
like
it's like, whoosh. Yes.
the real guy with telekinesis.
Yes.
He's probably out there kicking more butt.
Yeah, he's
right
probably
now.
soldier mode and doing more stuff. Because that was awesome. I was happy to see that, like, the first episode. I'm like, oh, good powers. And, like, this is
Yeah.
exciting. But that's a good point. I'm like, nobody's really, like,
Now people switching bodies.
impressive.
I'm also this chick. Ooh, it's kind of, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you
man.
feel like all the A levels are probably out with the X-Men right now, and so this is in the same universe.
Yes.
But we're just seeing all the D levels.
Okay, all right.
I like the Legends
This
of
is
Tomorrow.
the D League.
Yeah, it's the D League, but in there have more interesting stories, and also you get to explore in a world of superpowers and mutants. There's gonna be a lot of psychic
exciting.
trauma. There's gonna be a lot of psychological trauma, and that's kind of what we're seeing with David. Like, I love that he talked about in this one that people keep talking about I'm definitely sane and everything I do is an aspect of my powers. What if that's not the case? What if he's insane and he's powerful? Because that could also be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool guys.
All right. So I mean, so at the end of it, we see that everybody's able to wake up except for David.
Yeah.
So what do we? So like, what do we think for next week? What's gonna happen?
Well, I think
Dave, you first.
they're gonna try and dive back into David, but in maybe a bit more controlled fashion. Maybe they'll try to get they need a more powerful mind in there with them. If they know of any,
They need a better guide.
yeah, they need the memory guy's good, but they need someone with a bit more strength.
Yes.
Right.
Groundedness. Like someone
Yeah.
who can, like, fight off. Because they made the point, and we're still, I mean, there could be something else, that you can't get hurt in the memories. But she experienced pain.
Right.
So-
with that,
That
book.
book, yeah, the book.
Yes,
Smashing her
fighting
hand.
her.
Like
and
I looked at my hand like, okay, it's just
and
a TV
so,
show.
yeah. So I'm wondering if there can be real hurt inside of it, and then they've already addressed it with the preview for next time. Like, how much of that is an actual memory, or just false memories that he placed there, or someone else put there
Yeah.
Right.
into
so-
David's head.
So what do we think that they're gonna bring? Maybe we're gonna see someone we haven't seen yet to do this.
That'd be
or-
cool.
Right. Well, I also think there's an aspect of the brain fighting itself.
Yes.
And maybe the angriest little boy and the demon are just white blood cells of the brain, kind of just trying to attack foreign objects that are coming in, and also trying to just fight itself.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Cass, any predictions for next week?
Next week, I think we are going to. we're obviously going to see a little bit more into his mind. It'll definitely be more controlled, just like what you were saying. But I also think that we're going to get a little bit more of an overview of his powers. So far, we've only seen his powers used in limited bursts, and we've only seen a little bit of them in uncontrolled states. We've seen when when they had the body swap and the explosion, we've seen him just start to levitate and everything turns red. Bow, warning. We've seen those things, but we haven't actually seen him harness any of his powers and actually control it. I think we might get to see a peek of that as they're trying to help him, hone and control his powers. Right. I think we're going to get to see just a little bit, not a lot, but just little bit to give us a glimmer of hope that he's going to be able to, get the hang of this in enough time to try and save his sister.
Right. And let's label the powers that we've seen so far, because there's
astral projection, teleportation, telekinesis,
and transmutation, I think, is what you call when you get rid of an object or create an object out of thin air.
Okay.
Which is what he's done with the doors of the hospital, if that was him, because all the hospital stuff, all the doors disappear.
Her,
but as
in his
him.
body, yes, this is true.
So, and that's how Lenny died. So there's transmutation, astral projection, transportation, and teleportation.
Mm-hmm. Darius in the chat said Yellow Eyes was also seen in present day episode 1 while David was escaping, so he can manifest in real life as well as memories. But it's what David sees. Nobody else has seen Yellow Eyes yet,
Also,
right?
keep in mind that we did find out in this episode that David never remembers Yellow Eyes after he sees them. It's something that he keeps seeing.
Oh, he's freaking out, and then they're like, what is it? And he's not able to be like,
he's not able to verbalize it.
This thing,
It's like in Doctor Who, it's like the silence.
Yes.
It's,
He needs to write it down.
Yeah, he needs to write down.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a fat dude with yellow eyes right
If it wasn't the Tom
Big
Baker
man.
years, then I don't know what you're talking about in terms of Doctor Who.
Who's Jaundice Fatty? I keep saying Jaundice Fatty on my arm, and I don't know what
does
it
this
means.
mean?
Carrie, any final thoughts?
No, I was trying to see if the... Darius in the chat says, I have a feeling David will be forced to confront Devil with the yellow eyes. I hope that happens soon, too, that it has some, it's one of those, fears that he has to face him and overcome it, because it does feel like we're building up to that I think if we go too much longer, we're all going to be like, all right, we get it. We get it. Come on, let's go.
And that's,
I mean, I know it's a big fear to confront it, and, confronting your fears is a big deal, but I feel like they're going to kind of maybe give him that boost he needs, or he'll feel enough confidence in himself of oh no, I can kick some ass. I can do something about it. Right. Or really come to terms with it. It's like Matrix. He has to come to terms with it's a memory. You can't get hurt. So he needs to oh, this is the world. I can create and do things and not be restricted to the rules I think I have.
Yeah.
Which would be cool.
Well, you know what? I actually have a confession to make, and I'm actually Yale to go. And, but we'll be back next week to cover episode 4, chapter 4. Thank you for watching. I'm Rick Hong, and you can find me at Rick Hong. And
I'm Dave Child. You can find me at Mr. Dave Child, but I'll be Lucretia next week. We have weird body switching powers of our own. Also, you can find me at doing the Legends of Tomorrow show with Lucretia. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Mr. Dave Child on all the stuff. Cool.
All the stuff.
All the stuff.
All the stuffs.
And my name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. And then, I'm just here as a guest. Happy to be here. You can catch me on The Magicians, The Expanse, Emerald City, Box Office Breakdown, and Time After Time starting soon.
All right, and I'm Chaos Jones, KAAOSJ. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, Chaos_Oceans31, because I'm giving you 31 flavors of waviness just for you. You can catch me on the Lethal Weapon After Show. You can always catch me here. You can catch me on the DMC. That's on Black Hollywood Live. And you can catch me on My Kitchen Rules. And yeah.
thanks for watching.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.